My oh my, what a wonderful night for spoilers. What's up guys, I'm here, and here we are to do a breakdown / spoiler discussion of chapter 262 of Blue? Why did my brain immediately go to Blue? Of Jujutsu Kaisen. And ladies and gentlemen, this chapter, let's just say I was unfamiliar with many types of characters' games. Let's just say that. I think that's the simplest, the cleanest way to say it. I was unfamiliar with their game. I'm not gonna lie to you, ladies and gentlemen. That's kind of how it's going down. But speaking of going down, we have a lot to go down. Whoa, not like that. We have a lot to go over. So let's not waste any more time and let's hop right into it. Editing me, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's up guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do happen to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact. When I slander, when I get down, devious, diabolical, dastardly, whatever, when I get slanderous, I typically do it from like a mental high ground, a moral high ground, a psychological high ground, coming from the idea that, I believe that I know a thing or two, because I've seen a thing or two, alright? I will give Gege Akutami credit. They are one of the few mangaka that consistently make me wonder if I actually do know a thing or two, or if I've seen a thing or two. Because we open up this chapter, once again, continuing off of last chapter, Rika just holding the body of Yuta, bada bing, bada boom. She's not gonna help. I mean, I get it. Once again, it does, at this point, she kind of can't. She'll have to break into Yuta's domain. And while Rika can teleport, it seems like breaking into domains just isn't a thing she can do. So I get it. Might as well let her hold the body. As long as she maintains the connection for Kinjaku's technique, bada bing, bada boom. Of course, there still is the question of, well, can Yuta, binding vow her? Or, binding vow his original body or something in order to get rid of that 5-minute time limit? Because if he gets rid of that, the opportunities open up massively for what could happen. But that aside, we'll talk about that more in depth later. We do get to see that once again, while Ryoma and Sukuna did look quite dominant at the end of 261, it wasn't as clear-cut a slaughter as a lot of people were saying it was. Once again, it was just 2 punches, so we see Gojo immediately slip beneath Sukuna's strikes, grab Sukuna, and then full body flip him. Now, admittedly, I'd be way more impressed with this if we hadn't seen stronger variations of Sukuna also get tossed around by much weaker characters. We literally see Maki also throw this Sukuna. So, this is a crazy feat. Obviously, it's impressive for Gojo, who's completely unused to the body, to be able to do this on the fly. But still, you can tell by Sukuna's rather... It doesn't, it doesn't really phase him all too much, despite it being an impressive physical feat. Once again, it kind of comes down to the issue of the Shinjuku Showdown and how long it's run. So many characters have tossed Sukuna around physically that a feat that would have people going crazy, losing it in the streets, is kind of like, I've seen Yuji knock Sukuna around. I've seen Ino knock Sukuna around. I've seen Maki knock Sukuna around. I've seen Kusakabe knock Sukuna around. I don't know, just this one little toss, this one little throw, it's clean, but it ain't nothing crazy, you know what I'm saying? It's that balance. But with that being the case, we see that Gojo throws Sukuna off balance, only for Sukuna to be like, dog, really? Proceeds to immediately catch himself mid-recovery. Once again, Sukuna's fighting prowess is definitely something that's been, questioned for some reason. I don't know. I see a lot of people say, "Oh, Sukuna's not that good of a fighter," and I don't know where that narrative comes from. I don't I know JJK isn't typically a verse that's renowned for its martial arts abilities, not like a Dragon Ball or a God of High School, where a lot of characters are known to mink in very specific and high level ways, or even a Naruto or something like that, where Taijutsu is known to be a very high skill ceiling aspect of the verse. But Sukuna's never been a bad fighter. I don't know where this narrative came from. He acted animalistic in his earliest incarnations, but even still, he was never a bad fighter. And you can see this clearly. And notably, speaking of bad fighters, we see that Gojo is just not used to the body at all. He's like, these limbs are too long. Things feel weird. Notably, despite having full access to Gojo's body, despite having practiced a little bit over the one time skip, despite being prepared for the scenario in every way, shape, and form, he's still not exactly used to it. Just because the phenomena of wielding the body of Satoru Gojo, being in the body of the strongest for extended period of time is just new to him, and thusly he's not actually used to the limitless technique or anything that comes with it, which I do think is good. Once again, it is a sort of pseudo soft nerf that Yuta has in order to make sure that he cannot win. Kind of in a similar vein to how now, retroactively, I understand giving Yuta a 5-minute time limit, because once again, you need to narratively add stakes to this fight. If Yuta did not get a nerf post Volume 0 and he still had the unlimited copy timer, he'd be good. Like, well, he wouldn't be good. Sukuna would still probably find a way to win. But still, that aside, it's obvious why the 5-minute time limit is introduced now, which makes me give credit to Gege. It makes me think that they think a lot farther ahead than a lot of people, myself included, gave them credit for. I think from the moment they reintroduced Yuta with his new abilities all the way back in Sendai, and possibly even before that, this was planned. Arguably, going back on one of my own videos, I think it was basically planned the moment Yuta mentioned Kenjaku. Or Kenjaku mentioned Yuta. Or Gojo mentioned Yuta to Kenjaku, and Kenjaku's like, Yuta's not all that. I think all this was set up since then, just based on how it's being shown here. However, we see that, once again, Sukuna is able to just move around and sort of fight Gojo in a way that he didn't have to worry about fighting Gojo, simply because Yuta's not used to it. Even Sukuna really acknowledges it and is like, oh, he's just not used to it. Like, he just doesn't know how this thing works. And that does make sense. Once again, Yuta, while having practice, had to practice against who? Against what? Against where? Against why? No one knew domain amplification at the time, so he had no idea how that would interact. He likely couldn't actually fight anybody all out seriously, probably not even Gojo in his own body, just because of the danger that could cause. Remember, Yuta is a one-tap blue punch victim, so he couldn't really spar with anybody with the full abilities without having to worry about absolutely body bagging them. So this is Gota's first time really running the sticks, and I can understand, hey, I am pretty decent at fighters. I'm not going to say I'm good, but I'm pretty decent at fighters. You put Nappa in my hands, and, like, I can hit the buttons. I know how some things work, but, like, I won't be able to do Cyberman combos. I don't even know how to summon Cyberman. It's Kurosoko go back something. Like, I don't know. Same thing with, like, okay, I'm not good at Guilty Gear, but, like, you put Gold Lewis in my hands. I can press buttons. I can press buttons, and I know some buttons that are high tier, because I've fought Gold Lewis's before. That's it. That's all I got. Same thing in Smash. Like, I understand Yuta's abilities here. Sure, he was given a top tier. He was given an insane top tier. So, like, for example, going back to, like, the fighter's analogy, imagine you were given, like, prime lab coat 21, fresh, no patch, no nerf, no nothing. Sure, you can give that character to somebody, but if they have no idea how to play the character, it doesn't matter that they're top tier. That's what Gota's going through right now. He's got one of the highest tier builds in the verse, but it's really, really complicated, to the point where he can't fully understand the Limitless, can't fully understand his own technique, can't even understand the body he's in, and Sukuna, who's super duper used to the body he's in, and fighting someone who's much more proficient with the technique, is like, this is kind of light, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. This is kind of light. And we see that Sukuna, once again, is super duper flat-faced. He's actually kind of bored, because this isn't the run back he really wanted, because of course it's not. Satoru Gojo was Satoru Gojo for a reason. And ultimately, Sukuna understands that, hey, I don't really gotta take you seriously, dog, because you don't know what you're doing. And that's okay. It's a complicated technique. I get it. I think, like, in the rough translations I saw, he even, like, legit calls the Limitless technique troublesome, because it's an annoying technique. But with that being the case, he just starts mollywopping. Notably, on first viewing, I thought this was a Black Flash, but no, it's just a regular punchback. And we see that ultimately, Sukuna, while feeling pretty good, knowing that Yuta has little to no control over the body he's in, and thusly he's pretty chill, he's pretty much able to relax and sort of go on autopilot. And while he doesn't want to wait out the 3 minutes, he just wants to execute Gojo, obviously. It's fine. He's really in no danger. Worst comes to worst, Gojo's domain collapses. He can't do the technique refresh like Gojo did, and then Sukuna expands level and tries and slaughters everybody. That's it. That's it. Simple as that. But we see Sukuna still has one thing to fear. The thing that nearly took him out in the first place. The Hollow Technique Purple. And we see that Yuta just starts, hey! Sorry, there's a fly. I'm not sure if I can caught it on camera. You stay over there. I will strike you down. But with that being the case, we see that Yuta's just like, man, forget about it. Fine. Take this real quick. But obviously, Sukuna's like, dude, you do realize that has mad startup time, broski. Unless you're trying to make that bad boy unlimited, you cannot do this. And proceeds to immediately get up and go to his face. I love how he's using the nubs. I know they're like basically full-grown arms now. He's just missing hands. But I love how he uses the nubs here and just knock Gojo out of the stance and force him to do anything else. Because Sukuna's like, yeah, you're fodder. You don't know how to use a limitless, but if you know how to just do that, that's going to be dangerous and annoying. Once again, it kind of makes me wonder, like, dude, you saw how Unlimited Hollow worked. Make a red, make a blue, have them hit each other. Like, unless Sukuna goes and domain implication grips on one of them, I don't know why you just do that. Like, charging a full one directly in his face that's directed, it's less dangerous to you, but it's basically impossible to get off. But with that being the case, we see that Gojo takes advantage of the fact that Sukuna still doesn't fully understand the scenario, whether or not Kenjaku's technique is actually fully limited to Yuta, or if there's still some freedom and flexibility on what techniques he can use. Like, hypothetically, a technique that has been used on Sukuna before. A technique from somebody else. And we see that Sukuna's shocked to see a tape recorder come out of nowhere. 10 seconds playing. And Sukuna watches the tape recorder thinking, oh no, is this another variation of another technique? And yes, it is. I'm not sure what the translation is, but I believe it's stop and or freeze and or something. Because Toge Inumaki, of all characters, heard me and the entire community calling them an absolute worthless garbage fraud that would accidentally one-shot themselves if they dared to use cursed speech on Sukuna. And they use cursed speech on Sukuna, bro. Sukuna's hit the... like he just got hit with heart catch all over again. And Yuta's like, hey buddy, hey pal, this one ain't fake, my G. I got something for you. And proceeds to get ready to launch Hollow Technique Purple. Now, once again, there are questions here. Big questions. Number one, will it work? Probably not. Once again, as much as I like Gojo, and as perfect as this scenario is, he's literally locked in place and should not be able to do something about this. 1, there's domain implication. 2, there's binding vows. 3, there's domain implications and binding vows. Sukuna has so many ways to get out of this. It's crazy to say it, but he has so many ways to get out of this. And you know what one of the craziest ways he could get out of this is? Just sacking another arm. I know that sounds crazy, but remember when Kashimo did that massive lightning burst at the end of the fight with Akari? And then Akari revealed that he was just fine after that. Sure, he was out of jackpot, and he had lost his arm, and he was fine. Why? Because he did a binding vow. He offered that arm in exchange for the rest of his body. Sukuna could do the exact same thing here and survive it. Or he could domain amp it, or he could use another type of binding vow, or he could, or something. Once again, as cool and as crazy and as next level of a cliffhanger that this is, I'm not saying my brain's big. It's really not. It's the size of, it's this big. It's really like, this, my fingers are basically touching. Like I can low-key feel them touching. Like it's that big. But my brain is large enough. It's not microscopic enough. I know that this isn't going to work somehow. Because it's not Gojo's place. It's not Gojo's place. Now, the real question is, after this, what comes next? Because if this fails, is Gojo's time limit up? Is he just done? Or is he going to go for another one? Is he going to make it unlimited? I don't know. I'm intrigued to see, though. That's the thing. Once again, Geki's fantastic at making me intrigued to see what happens next. They are the best mangaka in the game with it. I'll be complete. Like I was about to say, maybe so and so's, but no, they are the best mangaka in the game in terms of like, darn it, I'm itching and scratching and feeding, and now I need chapter 263 right now. In fact, I need chapter 263 so bad. I think I accidentally typed 263 spoilers in the thumbnails. I need to go back and fix that. So chapter 262. That's how bad I need chapter 263. So overall, a W chapter. At least in my opinion. At least in my opinion, it's a calm little W chapter. It's a calm little W chapter. Mainly just because of how it was handled. Like, notably, especially considering the chapter itself doesn't even feel that long. Like, how long is it? One page, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, it's only a 12-page chapter. No, that's weird. Both Nakaba Suzuki from Seven Deadly Sins fame / Four Knights fame dropped a 12-page chapter. Gay dropped a 12-page chapter. Both of them need to take breaks. But with that being the case, I'll take it mainly because it does a lot. Once again, kind of like how I felt about last chapter being a short chapter but giving a lot. This chapter is short, but it gives us a lot. It shows the relativity between Sukuna and Gojo when Sukuna is using domain amplification in a much weaker body against a Gojo that doesn't fully understand his abilities. It shows the differences between Yuta and Gojo. It shows the levels and importance of the Limitless and sort of finally backs up the claims that the Limitless is a really cumbersome and complicated technique even if you have all the tools to use it. It shows and gives so much and gave a character like Inumaki of all characters an actual role in the narrative. How successful this role will be? Probably not too much, but still, I will take every little bit I can get. But if you made it all the way to the end of this Vigimo, please do me a favor and leave Purple King. Leave Purple King in the comment section down below. I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave... Sorry. I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure that notification bell so you not miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1 month, things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks will include the live reaction to this very chapter, ad-free variations of all my videos, and if you become a $25 Patreon and $25 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also, I do have a link to my Ko-Fi in the description down below. You can drop 5 beans for a short video, 25 beans for a long video, or any beans at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Dagger the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to thank you to our $3 members, Zena, Greyhound, Astro, Eternal Flame, NMA, Real Rare, G Prosper, Red Wolf 4765, and Paris Arnold. I'd like to leave another big ol' thank you to our $5 patrons, Sean, Sammy, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin Encarnacion, Josh Brown, and A+A. And I'd like to give a great big thank you to our $7 members, Autumn Mornings Lazo, Fine, and That Guy. And I'd like to give a great big thank you to our $10 members, Robbie Uchiha, Jay Warrior, and Akid's Void. And I'd like to give big, hefty, juicy thank yous to our $10 patrons, Panda Goat, Michael Williamson, Metal Solid Crisis, Joaquin Munoz, and Idem Okami. And I'd like to give the biggest, juiciest, meatiest, sloppiest, and heftiest thank you of them all to our $25 patron, Calvin Elder.